Feature Friday.
The freshest.
So this is Shreya in sort of like an environment that, you know, we usually do tend to analyze or I guess review other artists like this in this environment because it is the most difficult environment. It's sort of like, you know, acapella, no music, no background, no layers, nothing, no post-production. It's like through a phone, so it's as precarious as it gets. And this is none other than Shreya Ghoshal having a good go at this. And a lot of you guys have told me...
That is hard to do, man.
have kind of told me, I mean, like, I guess, told me how good this is. Ballad has no idea. I've never seen it either. But I thought it's obviously good having you here because then we can kind of analyze a little bit. But she's obviously already mind-boggling to us, understanding what she's capable of doing. And I didn't really have any doubts on what she would be like in this environment because we've seen her live. And live in environments with little post-production.
That's true. I mean, this is hard. This is hard right off the bat. The concept of singing from, you know, a cappella in front of a camera.
Not a favourable scenario.
It's really not. But then again, I know I'm about to be pleasantly surprised because she's got something else happening.
Yeah.
Like
I'm on video too now of her singing lessons. I go to Berkeley, I think it is.
Okay.
She has like a series where she explains, especially about the Indian music industry elements of it. I thought it was necessary to watch.
Why didn't you watch it with me?
Yeah, you said the same the other day. Come on.
Oh, well, you didn't watch it with me
I
again.
started watching at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
रघुवर तेरी राह निहारे रघुवर तेरी राह निहारे सातों जन्म से सिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया घर मोरे परदेसिया
What's in your throat, dude?
धन समा सगमद निदा मगपा गम बसा सा गम पनी नी गम पनी दब मगरे गम दब रे म पद म नी दब म गम रे.
Yeah, this is the moment where you lose me.
दब म नी नी रे सनी धनी दब म धनी दब मगरे रे सनी सनी रे गा ना तो मैया की लोरी नहीं फागुन की होरी मोहिम कुछ दूसरा ना भाई रे जब से नैनाई जाके धनुर्धर से लागे तब से बिरहा मोहि सताए रे दुविधा मेरी सब जग जाने दुविधा मेरी सब जग जाने जाने धनिर मोहिया घर मोरे परदेसिया आओ पधारो पिया.
Even the camera glitches. What on the
Little
earth?
giggle. Thanks, guys. I thought that was all right.
Thanks for tuning in. What?
What's in your throat?
No, I was really, I wasn't looking at her mouth so much.
Your throat.
Because there's a lot of like things that happen in the mouth that I'm actually not interested in at the precise moment right now.
Not the right moment in order. Perhaps
No,
looking at
but
her throat is perfect.
I was looking at the modulation in her larynx and how, I can't really show you because I have a turtleneck, but
I can
there's
expose
like
my necklet.
yeah, so this area here where it comes in is like kind of sucked in a little bit, right? Right underneath the larynx, so like the trachea, this trachea part. So when she uses it, she's often modulating that area. So the movement initiates right underneath the larynx. It actually isn't the larynx movement itself, but it initiates down here. So she forces the movement from the root of the larynx itself. It's actually very strange to watch. I had never really
seen that technique.
Seen that before. Because what happens often, the way that I've been taught to sing from a technical standpoint is that, you leave that rooted, grounded part down to, you pull down towards your chest, so you're grounded and full and making enough connection, so there's a lot of resonance coming through. In her case though, there's no need for grounding because it's all very lifted, it's all very twangy forward, and it's all about the positioning and of the larynx really high up, and there is no tilting of the larynx, so there's no movement forward. This is the modulating part of the larynx that goes up and down, and then we modulate it according to the genre that we're singing. And the other half kind of like roots down, so you're working in this elastic band effect, often, more often than not. In her case though, she works like that. She works as a unity. So even the bottom of the larynx, so like the trachea area, kind of like moves with the top of the larynx. That's really flexible. So yeah, instead of having to work against the two of them, creating resistance, she's actually working as a unity, so her larynx are lifted even higher than what you would normally be exposed to. Reason why a lot of the movement actually makes the larynx actually disappear from the front of her throat. Again, I would love to dive a little deeper into her explaining what she physically does, because it's a completely foreign technique to me, and I had never seen it done before in this way, and I think exposing environments like this really put it into perspective.
There's another video. It's like a minute long.
Okay.
Where I think she does a different piece. So, and you can tell there I think it's a decent angle as well, seeing her, vocal modulation.
This
and
was from
throat.
an Instagram live.
Yeah, I think this is from an Instagram live.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, there's music here.
Yeah.
तेरे हाथों की तरफ मेरे हाथों का सफर रोजाना
Oh, she's playing the piano herself.
तेरी आँखों से कहे कुछ तो मेरी नजर रोजाना.
So, because this is
Gorgeous.
Because this is sort
gorgeous
of
melody going through.
I
But
guess,
in here, you're hearing. Sorry to
No,
cut
go
you
on,
off.
go on, I'll get my revenge later.
Maintained your idea. I'm so sorry. But it's just worth looking at the fact that in this particular piece that we're seeing it here with accompaniment with the piano playing in the background, actually forces her to find more resonance. The resonance is actually bigger. There's less of a thin fall setting and more of a full fall setting, and the modulation towards the end of the phrase kind of tends to be very thin. But it's different here. So I wonder how she applies the same technique that we saw from the first clip into a second setting like this,
Which requires
where
more
it
resonance.
requires a lot more resonance.
Grounding.
So where is the grounding coming from, and how does she actually approach? Does it change physically the setting of the larynx? From where I'm hearing, it does, but I wonder what her thinking,
mindset
what
it's-
mindset approach would they go from?
Because it's something that doesn't
here.
get spoken about enough. I guess, the people that know, and there's a lot of people that do know, which it's awesome seeing the conversations in the comment section.
And thank you for all the information. It's absolutely wonderful to learn through you guys. It's incredible.
It's brilliant, yeah, because this isn't, I don't think this should be like, what we think is what, it's like the conclusion. I think it's more like an open discussion.
It's like a constant discovery.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to just any industry, actually, in general. I think that's the way we've attempt to approach most things.
Very open-minded through the idea that,
Because how the hell do we learn anyway?
Exactly. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, I'm really curious.
But I feel like those who would have a background in singing or studying singing would understand their mind larynx connection.
Oh, it's so correlated.
Which sometimes it isn't a actual physical technical change, but more of a mindset approach that causes and changing outcome vocally.
A physical outcome. Yeah, a lot of the times when you're being taught as a child, a lot of the times the coaches and teachers often tell you, visualize it, see it first before you approach it from a physical standpoint. If you know where you're going, then your voice will know where it's going. It's a very strong, very close correlation, mind and body, when it comes to singing. And I think yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, there is a. I don't know why people keep saying, "Oh, there's."
Yeah, so
They couldn't understand why.
This is what I was gonna say. Oh, why'd you take that one off?
Oh, sorry. I thought. Sorry.
I want to listen to that one because there's piano. I love the piano.
It says without autotune. But why
Their
would
belief,
Why
I think-
would they question if she had autotune?
Well, their belief is, I feel, from what you guys have told me in the comments and stuff like that, is that that's what I was gonna address before. Is that because sometimes these songs are obviously songs from singers that do playback, right?
Yeah. They're the soundtracks for very popular movies.
And
yeah.
there is sometimes, like in the West and America, here in the UK and Europe, sometimes the singers, do utilize when they go involved in certain showcases and stuff like that, do utilize these tools, these auditory tools to, enhance sound and stuff like that in post-production. Some shows are known for doing that as well.
Right, okay.
And with Shreya, it's more specific because she's so outstanding, even in the indie music industry, where the kind of melismas that
it's
she
like
does...
It's hard to understand how they happen physically.
Yeah, and even people from there, they're still, what the fuck?
How did she do that?
So then it's like AutoTune gate. It's like people have had these theories and discussions, and this is like a lot of people. It's like, dude, it's like look at, and this is why these moments go viral because it's like she can do that shit alone, like in her own. So that's why the whole focus on without autotune is.
I see.
I think I noticed it from the start that there was no presence of these sort of tools. They could have been post production, and we don't know the extent of which the post production, but this obviously emphasizes and settles the argument. I
suppose, yeah. I mean, what more of a harsh environment do you want?
Yeah. So it's the mic of the phone.
I know. I love how she says. Oh my god, it's just so great.
So it's truly magical.
God, that's fantastic. That is just brilliant.
It just feels too good. Like
It
it's
does.
fucking insane. She's amazing.
And I love that she's the one who's playing the piano and like she's adjusting as the way it's going through. It's a brilliant exposure of talent under the most precarious of situations and environments ever. If you ever had a doubt, I mean, I think this settles the argument.
I think a lot of people know. I think a lot of people knew as well, given as well her classical
background and influences in her music. Yeah.
But I think it's obviously as well, it is YouTube at the end of the day, so sort of like titles and stuff that play a role. But it does oppose an interesting perspective though, because a lot of in the industry, it doesn't. A lot of the times, these effects and these tools are not used to better the singer itself or diminish their talent in any way, but to create an atmosphere or to adhere to a concept or a sound aesthetic a lot of the times. I mean, we've seen a lot of world-class singers utilize it as a tool, which is the way it should be used.
Yeah.
Like Rosalía is a great example of that from Spain.
Yeah.
She's a great singer, an outstanding singer, but she decides to introduce it in an artistic manner.
That's right.
As an artistic choice. She doesn't have to, but she likes the sound. So it's, at the end of the day, it is an auditory experience we're trying to recreate.
That's right.
But in her case, it's just, I think...
She is an auditory experience by herself, in her own right.
Madness.
Which she holds something really special, and I think I'm still incredibly fascinated by it all. And I think somebody sent me a screenshot of, here are all your thumbnails to Shreya Ghoshal, and in all of them I'm like freaking mind blown. And I was like, it's not a lie. That's exactly how I feel.
I think maybe I'm not wrong in guessing that she probably, even herself, she considers herself a purist, you know, this sort of purist approach to music, as human as it gets, given the classical influences that she has. Very
truly
intrigued.
magical, though.
Let us know. Perhaps this is a cool little thing to do. So let us know. Perhaps if you like us to check out other singers in this kind of environments, and then comment on it and things like that. I think it should be fun. She's certainly insane and outstanding singer.
Oh yeah.
So let us know what your thoughts about it. And goodbye.